at Trado, we are building tools and platforms for freight forwarding services. If you are into it, maybe catch up with me later on. So let's begin our talk. So I'll be talking about micro animations. So what exactly those are? Those are something very delightful animations that a user sees after interaction. Whenever the user is using the app, there are small hints, small delights, and which really enhance the experience of the user. So we'll be building few micro animations, like how we can do that in React Native. So for this talk, I have categorized these micro animations in basically three parts. So the first is the gesture animations. So gestures animations are something reactive to the user input. Whenever user is clicking or maybe user is pressing on some interaction and the micro animations lit up. So we'll be covering that part in gesture animations. Other is the layout animations. So in layout animations, generally whenever a component mounts, unmounts, so there is some sort of instead of doing it abruptly, we are having some sort of delightful small animations that pique the interest of the user. And last one is the scroll animations. So scroll animations again are but reactive. So whenever a user is scrolling, we are getting inputs of scroll offset and all that. So based on that, how we can work it, how we can use that value and do some sort of animations. So we'll be looking at that in scroll animation. All right, time for demo. So let me just start it. Okay. So as you can see, we have divided the animations in three parts. The first is the gesture animation. So I'll just go through all the animations and then we will look at the code, like how we can achieve that. On the left hand side, I've written like the very normal pressables, the normal buttons, nothing much. And on the right side, we have some micro animations attached to those buttons. So if we take a look at the very first button, so yeah, the user is pressing on it, but nothing amazing is happening. He is getting some sort of feedback, but yeah, that's about it. So if he goes on the micro delight, let's say if he presses, touches on, and we have some sort of transition, it just enhances the effect of the pressing the button itself. So if the user holds on to the button, the entire layer translates, but if not, then some sort of pressure feedback of the user is observed. So if you take a look at both the buttons, definitely these button is something sparks an interest in the user, some sort of small joy. Again, a very common button. I mean, a lot of people we have used Instagram and all that. So this is a very simple like button, simple state toggle and nothing much. But when you click on this, see the animation, it really feels like dil se like de raha hai. Again, there is a disappearing animation to it. Next thing is the like button. Simple, it's just showing the user, and then with micro animation attached to it, and the like just ran away. Okay, so we'll take a look at the code, how we can achieve this. These are the code is very simple to make this happen. So this is the press button. So this is the very first this amazing button which we have on the left hand side. Very normal rect button. This button has been imported from gesture handler, and very simple button, has some text inside it, nothing much to it. And to add a micro animation to it, all we did was add an underlay layer to the button. So if you see on click and on press out, we have transition animations. So if you look inside, this is very similar to what earlier it was present in the normal button. The only thing which is happening here is we have added an extra animated layer, and this layer reacts to these two states, on activated and on ended. So what happens is, once the user presses on the button, the activated state triggers. It triggers an shared value, and with that, we have some sort of transition going on. Basically, what it does is it just translates the view from background and makes it visible. Okay, so on to the next like button. So again, this is a very simple button, has an icon inside it and is wrapped with pressable. Nothing much, a simple state to toggle its like and dislike functionality. Nothing happening much. So let's move on to our micro animation button. And you will see that hardly any code difference is present, but just with a simple line of code, how much interactive we can get. And it is thanks to the animated library, Reanimated, which provides us, pre-built transitions, pre-built layout animations. So if you see, this is once again a simple pressable button, has an icon inside it. The only difference, main difference is we have entered some entering animation and exiting animation. So this bounce in is something we get from Reanimated library itself. It is a pre-built animation which we can use. So I'll show you the demo once again. If you click on the button, it slightly bounces. That is the entering animation. And if I dislike it, so it just vanishes. So that is exiting with a zoom out animation. So as you can see, adding just 2 lines and it makes it very interactive. On to the next. Same here, simple icon is wrapped with a pressable and we have a simple like button. So the thing here is, some of the defaults which we get from Reanimated, right, they might not work according to our needs. So in this case, we have similar something to like the bounce in effect, but we have added some sort of configuration to it to make it work for our needs. So let me just show you with the configuration and without the configuration. So this animation is with the configuration. And as you can see, the thumb rotates a bit weirdly, like the origin has shifted upwards. And what we needed was the thumbs up going from bottom to up. So we had to add this configuration which enables us. So the another thing which I wanted to show was that even with the default, animations which are present from Reanimated, we get a lot of flexibility to customize those according to our needs. We can add this with initial values is just one modifier. There are like other modifiers also. So this is up with the gestures animation. So let's move on to the next part, which is the layout animation. Okay, so as you can see, this is a simple flat list being rendered, nothing fancy here. I go back and travel again. There is a simple transition and a simple flat list is there. Nothing, nothing, something that piques interest of the user. So let me just add this one line. I'll just trigger a re-render, and as you can see, just adding that one line of code triggers the flip effect of the list elements. So we can go one step ahead and let's say I want to make the list a cascading type of effect. Since if you see all the list items are getting animated in one go. So instead of that, we will have a cascading effect via the same modifiers which I mentioned earlier. all I did was add a delay, and since each card has a index, so based on increasing index, the delay will go on increasing. So this will create a very, cascading effect. So this was, this was a very simple flat list, nothing much. And just by adding this little configuration, we have got this. And it just, it feels very good. You look at the app, it feels like, something is happening here. So we'll check out our next layout animation. So again, here we have the same points of interest of Mumbai, and we have rendered it in a scroll view this time. Let me. Okay. So what will happen when I click on any one of the card is that the card will be removed from the state, and the list will be re-rendered to show the new update. So as you can see, we are having this beautiful transition. And everything is inside a scroll view, and this one line of code is responsible for this. So you can see just adding that much is giving you a very great effect of deleting elements from the list. So let me just comment it out. Okay, and if I am trying to delete now, you can see the list just jumps. The elements are just abruptly getting removed, so the effect is not very nice. Even the element which is being deleted, I am not sure which element is getting deleted. So I am like removing Powai Lake, and it's just gone. So instead of that, just by adding this single layout config, and let's say I am removing this Marindra, and this very cool effect is there. Other thing is, let's say you wanted to, you did not want the scroll view, but instead what you wanted was a flat list. So with flat list, there are a couple of things to consider. So let me just toggle into the flat list first. So as you can see, we have the same thing is being rendered. Instead of scroll view, we have used flat list. Flat list is just an optimized way of rendering elements. So let me again do the same thing. So I have also added the animation and all that, but as you can see, it does not work. So this is one issue with flat list. Like let's say if you are doing layout animations with like some number of columns greater than 1, then the animation might not work. You might have to do some mumbo jumbo to make it work. So let's take a look at flat list with a single column. Okay, so here it's saying, okay, for number of columns we have to comment this. So now we have flat list with a single column layout, and if I remove an element, it works. So this is one gotcha you might have to remember. Like whenever you are working with number of columns, like increased number of columns in a flat list, you might not get the benefit of using the default animations. You might have to write your own custom animations for it. So how we did this? So if you take a look at the code, so this is a very simple code, like nothing fancy here, simple scroll view from the base React Native itself. What is happening is the transition, the config transition is being applied to the element itself. So if we go here, so this is a render item, and in that, so this one line. So if you pass, this sequence transition config not config per se, but animation. If you pass that animation into the layout prop of this, you will get that amazing, effect of elements being slided up. So this is also again animated view. This animated comes from reanimated. So yeah, even we can add this entering animation which we did on the previous layout list. So let's just do that. So here we get the mounting animation which we had in the earlier list, and we also get the animation on deleting elements. So just adding like simple one-liners is making your app look and feel very good, very unique. You can also customize them. So the other thing to make a note of is like whenever you are using Flatlist, right? You have to pass the animation config inside the Flatlist itself, not to the elements, because what it does is like in the Flatlist, the view of the elements is being altered by the Flatlist itself. So you have to pass the config here rather than in the elements inside it. Okay, so let's move on to the next scroll animation. Okay. So here we again have points of interest, wonderful Mumbai skyline, and some animations to do with it. Okay, so we have the list here. Once I start scrolling, the header starts animating, it goes up, and yeah, I can see the list more clearly since I get the increased viewport. So the animation of the header is happening via the offset which we are getting on the scroll events. So as soon as we are getting near the top end of the list, the header increases to its full length. So this is something like a very normal animation, normal stuff happening here. We are also having the color change. So if you see the background of points of interest, it is getting according to the scroll, we are changing the color. So this is very something similar to what Instagram does in its chat. When you are chatting, the background color gets updated according to how much the scroll is present there. So let's say I wanted to add some sort of going scroll up button. So let's do that. Okay. So whenever I'm scrolling, so you can see the scroll up button at the very bottom of it. I'm not sure if you guys at the back are able to see it. I think this should work. So you can see we are getting scroll button. So this is something which is again following the offset, and whenever we are like after a certain value of offset, we are getting the button to scroll. So, but the issue with this is whenever I'm scrolling, right, I am getting the content behind the scroll button is being, I'm not able to read it correctly. Even if I've stopped scrolling, the scroll button is taking all that space. I'm not able to read that the historic railway, and it's gone. So maybe we can improvise on it better. So just let's do that. as you can see, so whenever I stop scrolling, the button actually expands, and whenever I'm scrolling again, it shrinks. So what is happening here is, if I'm scrolling, I'm able to read what is happening here, and if I stop, it again expands to show me that it is actually a scroller button. So what you can see is the micro animation happening here, right? The width getting shorter, the color being changed, the opacity being changed to make it go away. So all this stuff, instead, let's say if there was no micro animation and we just put a button right away there, it would have been bad user experience. Text is getting and you cannot read the text behind it and all that. But just adding this simple transitions and simple micro animations to it, the user experience is greatly enhanced. So we'll just go through how we have done this. So this is the actual FAB button, floating action button. Simple button, nothing fancy here. The main thing is happening in this event itself, the on scroll, and we are capturing the scroll events and processing them, like doing some animations with it. So let's go to the scroll handler. Let me just do this. So we are getting here like 3 types of event: on begin, on scroll, and on end. So whenever the user has started scrolling, we know that the scroll has begun. On end, I mean the events are very, like the name itself is very self-explanatory. Based on the offset value, we are doing some animation, we are doing some calculations here, and we are deriving another offset for which we can use to change the colors of the offset. So let's say, let me show you again. If you check the points of interest label, the color is being changed. So we can do that via this interpolation and all that stuff. So I mean, I would like to really go into details of it, but since we are short on time, just go through roughly. So again, we another have animated height. So this is again the interpolation of the scroll offset itself. We are getting the scroll offset value, we are giving it some input range, and we are having output range, and then adding some simple animation to it. And for the FAB button, so the floating action button, so the width and all that is controlled via this animated style. So yeah, adding these 3-4 animated styles and all that makes it, the user experience changes while just using the list and all that. So this is something you can observe in your Gmail apps also. So if you are browsing, going through Gmail and all that stuff, the compose button is there. So they have, this animation is basically inspired from that. So all these micro animations are something which enhance the user experience. If it was not present, or if the developer has not thought about it, the user experience really gets, it is not that great. So adding this, and you can see that almost all the animations are almost 1-liners, 2-liners, or maybe a little bit of config. So it's not that extraordinary or something. You have to just look into the details, the docs, go through it, and adding these bits just really enhances the usability of the app. So all these animations are available on the reanimated docs. You can go through all the layout effects, so this is just one of the fade effects. On the right hand side, you can see a lot of effects are available. Maybe you can check it out later. And thank you guys for listening to this talk. I hope you got a better understanding of what micro animations are, and how maybe you can utilize it to further enhance the user experience of your users. Thank you.